Alright, part two to Professor Anton. I guess I'll start with a question. Um, so let's say you did believe that there wasn't any, if I was able to provide you the evidence demonstrating abiogenesis, I gave you the evidence that quantum isn't any improbability thing, gave you a whole theory of physics, explained the Big Bang. The truth was the universe just keeps oscillating. It just keeps expanding and collapsing forever, and that life truly was a preposterously unique event that only happened one time on planet Earth, um, and just preposterously unusual chemistry, just incredibly unusual. Um, Spectacularly, a train crashing into a boat with a car crashing into that, and then a helicopter crashes into that, and then you know, I don't know, 4 chickens' heads fly off for no reason and land in the fire. I don't, something just completely not going to happen twice kind of event. All right, let's just say I proved that to you. I gave you the evidence, now you believe it. You understand that is reality. How does that change your perception then? Do you find what I'm saying more palatable then? Are you in more agreement then? It is all just futile. It's just a parasite on a planet, chemical parasite. The end. No mystery, no phantasmagorical conclusion. It's just going to get smashed in the galaxy. The end. Blah, blah, blah. Nothing. Do you get it then? I don't know. I tend to think not. But who knows? Maybe. So anyway, continuing.
One of life's great riches. Human interaction. Discourse. Right? I don't know why they...
Well, whatever. I mean, this is a great riches also. Okay, yeah, I like interacting with certain things more than interacting with other things. So whatever gets your rocks off. The point is it's just getting your rocks off. All right. I mean, it makes you happy. Cupcakes with sparkles. I mean, some people like ice cream in ice cream cones. Oh, fuck! Is that so fail? What is the point of that licky thing? Ooh, gross. I mean, get a fucking spoon in a dish. Eat it properly. I mean, we could argue forever about these what makes you happy thing. What gives you a little bit of a tingle and a thrill. I mean, some assholes go on roller coasters that spin upside down and shit and make them throw up, and they call that a good time. I'm supposed to be able to relate to that in some way, rationally? Sorry. No.
That's such a short shrift to suggest that in addition to cannibalism and consumption and reproduction and addiction, that we have this need for community, for interaction, for validation, for testing our beliefs,
for competing with each other pointlessly, for beating the Red Sox with the Blue Sox, for smashing and smiting, and for warring, and we killed Osama bin Laden, damn it. We got the old fucker. Even though he's a babbling idiot, we killed that retard. What? Get real. What humans are you talking about? All right, none of the ones I see walking around, none of the ones talking here on YouTube. All right? We're the people talking on YouTube obviously are not the people living in the world, right? Can we concede that?
confirming others' worldviews. I mean, all of this is part of, from my perspective, part of what makes life rich.
Well, fine. I find the parade to be absolutely disgusting. Okay? I mean, disgusting. Yeah, I mean, dog fucking cat kind of disgusting. Sorry, I don't get it. I don't know how to, there's probably much better analogies. Yeah, I mean, but is that all this comes down to then? Is we're just going to argue our subjective taste? I think the idea of suffering has to extend beyond subjective opinion. I just think it has to. It has to be something conceded. If everybody isn't going to concede that suffering or misery or however we want to define it sucks, then we need to have a war. Yeah, because one of us is going to be right and one of us is wrong, and we got to just settle this fucking thing.
Okay. I said before that I think perfectionism is really the trouble here, and I want to get at that in a little bit more detail. One of the great lines from John Dewey is that
whatever. I'll get at it my point of view, which is that acceptance is the evil here. acceptance, 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 acceptance for this silly notion that, oh, I really had a great time at the game last night, watching my idol worship beat the other guy's idol worship. Fail.
Best is the enemy of the better. The best is the enemy of the better. And his point is that people can oftentimes imagine a best case world, and because of that, they don't see the many ways in which it just could be better, and they despise the better because it's not yet the best. It is the
Yeah, whatever, exactly. And exactly works the other way around, too. Well, I don't have leukemia, so I guess I better go have a party. I mean, I ought to have an I don't have leukemia party, right? I mean, fuck my birthday. That's irrelevant. I wouldn't have a party about that. I should have a party about I don't have leukemia. All right, I'm going to call up everybody. Hey, you want to come over? We'll have some drinks and we'll celebrate the fact that I might have leukemia. Actually, I don't know for sure. Damn it. Yeah, I got to get a blood test. But anyway, yeah, I don't think well, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I don't have leukemia party. Yeah, look, oh, fine. Celebrate the fact that, like I said, celebrate the fact that 40 million Jews didn't die in the Holocaust. Hey, at least it wasn't 40 million. It was only 6. So, hell, wow, we're way the fuck ahead. Let's have a fucking Holocaust party, because the Holocaust was only 6 million Jews died horribly. Let's have a fucking party, because it wasn't near as bad as it could have been. Could have been worse.
better and the best. They become enemies, as it were. I think I sometimes see that. I see that when people say, well, it has to be no suffering, or it has to be, a complete revolution, or it's not worth it. No.
Well, look, the point is there's a philosophical argument that I'm making, okay, that all this want is built out of a need that doesn't need to exist. That's the dilemma. It's a negative that doesn't need to exist, and we just keep chasing something to satisfy the negative. All our desire is a deprivation. It's a negative. It isn't a positive force. It's a negative force. We're trying to fill holes that never needed to be drilled. That's the scenario. So in that kind of scenario, if you don't do it nearly perfectly, it's going to suck, because you're going to leave a bunch of negative unsatisfied. There's going to be a bunch of unfilled holes. That's the dilemma of life.
Part of me is sympathetic. I do want to make sure, I want to register that. Do I think the U.S., the Western world is maybe even the globe is on a kind of train wreck? Yes. Are our practices sustainable? No. It would take an absolute revolution in all of our practices, all of the ways we think, to really help bring the world back into an alignment. But it seems like...
Yeah, an alignment. Like I said, I don't even know what that means either. Okay? Because, the alignment, okay, we would probably agree that, knock the population way, way, way the hell down so we can do this thing much more methodically and rationally and carefully. So that's the way you're going to end up with a better building and better nest to put your eggs in and all this kind of crap. And we can make it so much better than it is. But again, you're just chasing the illusion of a better. And the whole point is none of it has to. It's even easier just to not mess with it anymore. It's a game you can't win. You're going to keep chasing better forever, all right? Because that's all intelligence has to do. The minute you create perfection is the minute your intelligence dies, because intelligence only does one thing: it solves problems. You eliminate the problems; it has nothing to do. That's all this is. That's why even our intelligence is shit, because all it's there to do is make us janitors.
Like all of the kinds of things that need to be done they're slow, incremental changes. They're these simple things: the courage to need little, the finding enough out of life. From the very simple things, learning to...
Well, look, we could do this crap. We could talk about this idealistic thing that we're going to somehow create this perfect humans that will need, not even perfect, but these better humans. But we'll have an argument about what a better human is. We'll have an argument about whether they should need to eat meat. I would certainly argue they don't need to, so none of them would need to eat meat. They would, they would... Well, I'm just still going to argue they'd be perfectly comfortable to live in a virtual reality where they could be run for pennies a day, they could be entertained instead of trying to build them all houses and build them all lives and give them all attractive mates and all of that crap. I don't see how you can, as a practical matter, fix all of those problems. How are you going to fix the basic competitive nature of human beings, where they're going to say, I want the prettier woman? How are you going to fix those little things like that? Like, I want the fresher baked bread. I want. How are you going to fix the I want thing without completely eviscerating the very thing that makes any of this life thing worth anything?
To draw, learning to dance, learning to sing together in a group. It could be the most simple of things. And again, conversation.
It could be, but yeah, that doesn't sound like anything to me. That sounds like one of those Christian heavens, where you're up there petting kids and playing hopscotch for eternity. No, thank you very much.
Is perhaps one of the greenest technologies of all. For zero cost and zero post-production cleanup, you can make statements available for a one-time shot. Discourse, everyday conversation where we tell stories and make each other laugh.
Why do we even need to do that, right? There's about 7, I don't know, how many movies are there actually? Actual full-length movies. How many have been made? I mean, there's so fucking many. And they're perfectly good escapism. You just jump into the movie, and yeah, you're off for a couple of hours. So yeah, I don't need an actual human to communicate with. And the odds are you have an actual human, you just end up finding something to disagree about, and then you'll piss each other off and have a big fight and call each other a sub-whore.
This is the true green technology. Now YouTube makes it a little tricky, but we're extended. Okay, I've tried to say that, again, the best is the enemy of the better, which means that perfectionism often is a kind of devil in there. It demands too much by overdrawn expectations, and
yeah, well, whatever. Again, like I said, if the scenario, if what you're made out of is a negative, then yeah, you've got to worry about this idea of cleaning up the negative, cleaning up the red ink. But I mean, even beyond that argument, it's not even so much arguing for perfectionism. We are so far from any kind of acceptable mark. I mean, again, what are we going? Are we going to argue about how many world wars are acceptable, how many plagues are acceptable? We can't even find anything to make the Black Plague acceptable, right? I mean, the only thing that makes it acceptable is that it's over, right? It's in the past, so we don't have to account for it. But you'd have a hard time trying to say, well, how many Black Plagues are worth how many centuries of human life? I mean, do you have that number somewhere? Would you like to do that calculation where you decide that millions of people will die a horrible death, and you're going to defend it and do the experiment and use that as a given to do your experiment? Would you want to push that button, the button that says, okay, yeah, we'll do 50 years of this Black Plaguey thing, and millions of people suffering, and then we'll give them this many decades or this many centuries of human life as compensation? Would you like to pick who's going to be in the Black Plague century? I mean, would you push that button? Would you initiate that game? Come on. This is slop. And if you had to take responsibility for it, you'd know it was slop, and you'd be damn worried about pressing that initiate button. Would you initiate this game?
It hides from us all of the ways that the world really has seen some incremental improvements. Now, is there still suffering? Yes, there is. But morphine ended public torture.
Oh, please. I mean, let's not talk about morphine. I mean, what does morphine do for somebody on chemotherapy right now? It doesn't do a hell of a lot. I mean, it's still a harshly unpleasant process to die in this civilized country. It's harshly unpleasant. What it's like in Africa, let's not even talk about what they get as a death. Slow death from AIDS, couple of years of horrible, you know the dynamic here, right? I mean, it's an immune deficiency disease in fucking disease central. So just imagine all the fucking opportunistic infections they end up with before they get killed. Shit.
really lessened human suffering and lots of animal suffering. I mean, there are animal forms of pain relievers.
Well, please, let's not. I mean, this is a stupid argument. I mean, obviously, we have more animals in prison now than were in prison 100 years ago. All right, more animals in torture chambers than were in torture chambers 100 years ago. So, by that matrix, we're a huge fail. And the fact is, there's billions of people on this planet now, and maybe the percentages of people living high against the percentages of people living low have changed. But the fact is you're talking about billions of people living in horrible circumstances, and often where technology is working against them. Technology saves the baby so it can live to starve to death when it's 10 years old. I mean, what's the sense in that? We save the babies so they can die miserably. I mean, how is that a win?
You know, go take your dog to the vet, this kind of thing. We have ended, at least in the modern Western world, public torture. Now, we haven't done it throughout the world, but that doesn't mean that it's all still bad. See, again, this is the best is the enemy of the better. Anytime I bring up an improvement, I can hear some person going, yeah, but it's still bad here, it's still bad there. Yes, agreed. Okay, let's just keep moving forward. Look at the...
Well, again, you're saying we're moving forward, and I'm going to argue that certainly we've progressed, and I'm grateful for the progress. I'm grateful for anesthesia, don't get me wrong. But I'm not grateful for the 7 billion people matrix of this thing. I'm not grateful for, like I said, the fact that the raw numbers themselves are screaming, rather loudly. And look at what else we're using with this technology. We got all these people on antidepressants and all kinds of other medications to get them through their day. Is that a win? We're genetically becoming shit because we're so dependent on the technology to keep us functioning. I mean, there's a lot of negatives to this technology win.
Rises in healthcare, the degree to which germ theory and vaccinations have really changed the planet they've changed lives qualitatively for the better. Look at the civil rights movement, women gaining the right to vote, suffragette. Look at the end of slavery.
Well, again, I could just point to, look at chemotherapy, look at look at nursing homes, look at a lot of other blights on the quality of our life that are just feeding into the sick, sad, pitiful addiction.
There have been so many ways that people really have had improvements to their lives. Now, if some person wants to say, oh no, this is all just deck chair straightening on the Titanic, and that none of it really matters, there's just all the...
Yeah, there you go. Pretty good. That's a good analogy. That's pretty much all it really is, isn't it? Come on. The game is still stupid. It's a game where you're not going to be satisfied. So look how many people living in our Western civilizations who still aren't satisfied. Okay, they are free from all these horrible blights. They're not living that horrible life, and yet they still look at the world and say, what do I do with this now? What's next then? More and more and more. I need 4-dimensional TV.
This mega horror or something. Okay, I don't see it. The worst that's ever going to happen is that we're all going to die. Okay.
Well, no, that's not the worst that's going to happen. The worst that's going to happen is we're all going to end up in Afghanistan. Okay, we're all going to end up backward. Okay, in some primitive, harsh reality where everybody's walking around with an AK-47 and everybody's shooting at each other and everybody hates each other, and life is going to suck. We're going to have enough technology to fuck each other up, but not enough to blow ourselves up, and that's not going to be a great future. But yeah, probably we will eventually get to the start nuking each other, and then it's going to be even worse. But then we're going to be all pretty miserably sick, and it ain't going to be any fun at all.
Hey, okay, now what? Yeah, I don't understand why someone would say that the best thing that you could do for sentience is to end sentience. No, the best thing that you do for sentience...
No, the best thing to do is just stop playing a stupid game. Why perpetuate it? That game is... No one's telling you to jump off a cliff, Professor. All they're saying is that we shouldn't perpetuate this shithole. So what we should do is let's have some good partying, to have some good fun. Let's not make any new babies for the aliens to lay eggs in. And then when there's the last little constituent, to let them nuke it from space. Yeah, game over, man. Game over. Game over, man.
Is you help sentience become detached from its own ego and learn how to observe what happens and to grow the strength to find the little joys of life to be enough.
Oh, whatever. I mean, like I said, why? Why should I have to do any of that? Why? Why would I have a child and say, that's my gift to you? You can sit there and contemplate the stupidity of your existence, the fucktarded bastard cesspool origin of all your desires and every mechanism that you possess. And yes, sit on a rock in a nice breezy day and contemplate that. But don't do any of the natural stuff. Cut your nuts off pretty much, and just sit there and say, yeah, cool, until you die. I mean, what the fuck? That doesn't. Why would I do that? I wouldn't do that. It's the whole fucking point. My brain stalls. The wheels start going crooked and they crunch into each other as soon as I try to even contemplate why the fuck I would impose this nonsense on somebody else.
Yeah, there's wonderful parts in Seneca where Seneca talks about life's hardship, and he says without life's hardships and its suffering, its injustices, you wouldn't be able to really prove and experience the virtuous character that you have.
Yeah, God, this is just such babble. Again, now we should just sit around and contemplate our virtuous character. I have a virtuous character. That's right. The 17-year-old girl walked by before, and I didn't whistle at her. I'm under control. Damn it. Oh, come on. This is just hopscotch. That's all this is. This is hopscotch on the Titanic. Let's just draw a little hopscotch game on the boards here, and we'll play hopscotch while the boat sinks.
Do you have character attributes of tenacity and strength and forgiveness? And again,
none of that means anything. Okay, we're gonna have some sort of gladiator argument now, right? So now we have to prove that no, it's the brave thing to do is to face the truth, face that you're a fucking goddamn Frankenstein. Accept your look in the mirror and see your Frankensteinness. Be brave, be a man, grow some balls and accept that you suck. Come on, you can do it. We'll just have some sort of little psych game where I'll call you a coward and you call me a coward, and we'll play this little bullshit game. I mean, that's all that is. It's a bull fucking shit game. It is not strength to acquiesce to your addiction. Come on. It's not strength to be a bigot. I mean, that's all you're doing here. You're just saying, be a strong, good bigot. Embrace your bigotry. Embrace your prejudice and your preferences. Embrace your addiction and your desire. Be brave. Yeah, be a brave heroin addict. Fall completely into your addiction.
A deep, deep resilience that without serious, life-struggling challenges, you don't ever get to demonstrate those, prove those, have those come into existence.
Yeah, prove those. So there we go. That's sort of an ego-y thing, right? So yeah, I just don't see the point, like I said, of this character war, because character has to be built. And I'll concede that point. It has to be built, and it's got to be built out of something negative. You're not going to build character out of carrots. You're going to build character out of whips. And I say fuck it. Why? Why do it? Why bother with it? Why play a game that requires you to whip it into shape? Why play a game that starts off with a whip? Fuck that.
And it's not to advocate them. It's not saying, oh yeah, well it's great, at least you get make the best of it. It's not make the best of it. It's realize that the world is not a thought. The world is not a thought. It's a perfectionist who wants the world to be like we hoped it would be, like we would imagine it be.
Oh, whatever. So that just doesn't mean, it's all just poetry. I mean, come on, the world is not a thought. Yeah, the world is mosquito larvae. The world is evolution. The world is a DNA molecule. Come on. So what? You're saying those ideas or those perceptions, those thoughts, are not the world? That's all you're saying, but you're just not saying it directly. You're just pretending that you can just vaguely say that no, the truth isn't the truth, so don't play by those rules of the truth. Just pretend you're accomplishing something, and it feels really cool when you just pretend you're accomplishing something.
I think a mature person is able to look at the world, accept all of its
Again, so we'll play a maturity game. I think it's very immature to know you're a drunk and to drink and drive, and that's all you're saying. Okay, yeah, just be a drunk and drive. Yeah, you gotta drive. I mean, life, you can't live without driving, so, and you can't not be drunk. So, yeah, just accept the casualties. Accept the casualties. No big deal. Be a man. Accept the casualties.
injustices, continue to try to make the world better, but realize that perfectionism, if pushed too far, just becomes, it's the devil itself.
No, whatever. Yeah, the good is the evil. Oh, God. This is so pointless. Yeah, it's hard to make an argument to somebody who thinks the good is the bad. I mean, what's the point in it? I mean, you're going to say that perfection is the evil. You're going to say that, 90% perfection is evil too, or 80%, or 70%? I mean, what percentage point is it legitimate, and what percentage point is it not legitimate? And do you really think our brains at some point will get to some point and just say, oh, I'm not going to worry about problems anymore? No, there are always going to be problems, and they'll always need solutions, and our brains will have a job to create the solutions. And that's the way it works. And like I said, but it can't go anywhere, because all you're ever doing is filling holes that didn't need to be drilled in the first place. That's all you've got here. That's all this game is made out of, is your deprivation, your need, your want, your expectations. It's not somebody else's perfection expectation that's the problem. It's your expectation of something. Some people don't expect anything. Some people don't want anything. I don't want any of it at the price of that some of it will cost.
Okay, thanks.
Okay then, finished. So yeah, not too bad. Got through this one without any harsh, derogatory crapola, so that's good. Probably some crappy comments in here somewhere. I got a lot of them. So anyway, but I will unblock the professor. Do it right now with my little unblocking tool on this channel anyway. But yeah, fuck the commenters I blocked, because yeah, obviously, people who make videos I'll cut slack to, but I'm not going to cut any slack to these little foul-mouthed, shit-talking commenter shitwads. So fuck them. So I don't know if I can unblock. I really can't with the tool. I'll have to make an unblocking one too, I guess. Yeah, that's right. I can only block. It only goes one way. It's a one-way tool. So I have to go to his channel. And, oh, I didn't have him blocked. Okay, so I didn't block
Okay,
the
I thought I would try to
professor.
say a couple things about the various discussions that have been going on.
Good on me. Yay. So anyway. So yeah, till next time and such and whatnot and so forth and such. Yeah, I think that's enough. Yeah, well, I did make a video to Fred. Yeah, this is probably a good place to announce it, because then somebody has to watch all of this crap. So yeah, just because you made a video on Blip, more about the homosexuality stuff and the abnormal word and the symptom word and whatever. And so yeah, so I'll post a link to that video down below. It's not going to be, it won't come up as a subscription. I did that, not the private thing, but the in-between private and public. The halfway one. So anyway, that's it. That's all I'll reference of it. Yeah. So till next time.